What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. Definitely geek to get in this video. Happy Easter to all. Definitely apologize if it is some commotion outside of this room. Got family over right now. A little bit of family over. Everybody hasn't got here, but a little bit of family over for Easter right now. But definitely have to drop a video for y'all. Y'all know how I do. I said I wasn't doing one, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop one for y'all. Let's get in the video, y'all.
Case. Obviously, everybody for the longest time was saying Monday, it's going to happen Monday. 454 for you. He's going to have to pay if he doesn't seize his assets. You know, the view, I can't wait. I want to see that, you know, seizing his assets and the property. I want to see all of that stuff. What is the latest? What's been happening?
So we're winning. And I've always tell people, you know, this is the long game. Okay. We are in a corrupt system. There's no question about it. So people love to say, look, we're going to go over there and Tish James is going to take the keys to Trump Tower. I think Whoopi Goldberg and all of them got excited about putting a chain around Trump Tower and literally were taunting. It was a really pathetic sight, actually. And it didn't happen. Why? Because the appellate division read our papers, saw that there are reasons for a stay, saw that it absolutely is ridiculous to have somebody lose an asset while the appellate division hasn't had an opportunity to look at the injustices, look at the decision making that was so flawed. And frankly, the motivation on this case was flawed. She was motivated to bring this case before she was even in office. That's what she ran on, Miss James. So that in itself, selective prosecution, happens to be illegal. It shouldn't happen. Look, they stayed it, they dropped it, they said, we're not taking assets, everything is frozen. Not only, and this is the one thing that nobody talks about, they didn't just say you're not paying that amount of money, which, by the way, is almost close to $1 billion with a bond because you have to pay 10% more, plus you have to pay interest. The judges said, no, we're stopping everything. You're not enforcing this. You're going to put 175 mil, which is still crazy, in a bank, but we're also not enforcing any decision against the defendants not to be able to work in New York in real estate. We're also not enforcing the decisions against Alan Weisselberg, Jeff McCarthy, people that did nothing wrong, that were working for a company and did their job and truly did nothing wrong. Nobody did. And every single part of that decision from Judge Engoron, that twisted decision.
Weird looking guy.
Every single thing was put on hold. Everything. While we have the opportunity now to say, this is what I was screaming about outside the courtroom steps every day, you know? So we're on hold and I mean, we're on hold for an expensive price, but at least we're seeing a little bit of, you know, due process and sense.
And how did you come up with the 175 million?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, it wasn't in there. There wasn't any qualification or.
Alina, are they starting to figure out that this tactic that they're using is not, it's like, it's done. It's not going to work.
We could call the DNC and ask them. I'm not sure. You know, I don't understand how they couldn't see that their overreaching has really hurt them, because Donald Trump has always been famous. He has always been a very smart businessman, which is why I think he's a very good president. He attacks things from a business perspective, which I think some presidents and some politicians, frankly, do lack that experience, right?
And I think what hits me the most about it, you know, when she said, you know, Trump is an amazing businessman. He's, you know, great businessman. What I don't understand is how a lot of other businessmen that don't like Trump don't like Trump. Like I don't understand that. Like for instance, you know, my father doesn't like, you know, but my father is a businessman. You know, and Trump is a well businessman. You know, and my dad is a businessman. He has a security company. He has a trucking company. He has, healthcare services. You know, so I be trying to wonder, you know, and figure out like this is actually somebody, you know, that I definitely, you know, see and like dang. I see how he moving and, you know, how he is as a person, just how he is as a person too. Just not, let's put the business aside, you know, the politics aside. It's just how he is as a person. You know, I just seen him, you know, go to that funeral, you know, and I heard that he paid the mortgage of that family. Like, it's just little stuff like that I see, you know, that I don't see out of, you know, when others vote for this president and look at this person and they like them, but they don't do nothing. You know, we was just talking about that. You know, we was talking about the Biden administration yesterday, you know, and it's just crazy. You know, it's definitely crazy.
And because of that, they've attacked him so badly that now you've taken a billionaire and made him sympathetic because you're trying to hurt him. It's so obvious that now we've got people from the left, the middles, they're coming to our side and saying, whoa, this is just too much.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to do this to me.
Exactly.
What am I going to do? I don't have Haba outside screaming, you know? What are you going to do? And that's been my message always is, you know, they're doing it to him, but they'll do it to us. They'll do it to me, I'm sure. They'll do it to everybody. And that's what scares me. So that's really, the motivation's really not just President Trump, it's America.
So let me ask you this. So this 175 we're talking about, okay, it has to be in an account. Fine. He puts that cash. No problem. If we size up the enemy of President Trump as being deceptive, dark, divisive, willing to do anything to eliminate him as a candidate going into 2024, November 5th, anything they can do, right, to spin the story and say, look at him now, he's part of the establishment, he's going to New York begging people for money, Wall Street, all this stuff. If that was the case, he's still got a few more cases open. Is it possible that they may come up and say, yeah, for this one you have to pay $280 million. This one's going to be $73 million. Another $128 million. Another $190. Can they keep doing this between now and October to just really deplete all of his savings?
So, look, the reality is he's an incredibly wealthy man. His wealth, like all wealthy individuals that have intelligence, is being put to work. It's in buildings, it's in real estate, it's in hotels, it's in golf. They're not, you know, whatever they're going to try and do, they forget who they're dealing with, number one. But realistically, Patrick, what we do have in front of us is really not the civil suits. The civil suits were already done. And what you're asking, I believe, already happened. We had the Carroll lawsuit. He got hit with an insane, and that was a suit that I obviously did. We had already lost prior, and we have not been heard on appeal on that first loss.
This is the $83.3 million.
$83.3 million.
Right.
That was the first one.
Right.
Which actually turns out to be $91 million when you look at it with the bond, okay, with the 10%. You have to put 10% on top. People think you put 10% into the court.
Decrease.
You put the entire amount plus 10% into the appellate division.
I didn't
so
know
it's
that.
a number that the court gives plus 10%, plus the interest on the bond, plus whatever they get in fees. It's plus, plus, plus. So we already got that hit. I did that trial 2 weeks after Letitia James' trial ended. I was on that trial for 4 months. The Judge Engoron waited to put his decision until after the jury came out with Carroll. So we had that happen. It was $91 million. And then Tish James, her original complaint, if you look, was $250 million. In the middle of the trial, towards the end, she changes it and says, now I want more. Not because the facts were bad. Frankly, the facts were good. Deutsche Bank took the stand, said he was a whale of the client. We actually wanted him because we wanted his connections. Zurich still insures us. You know, all these things. The judge didn't care. Tish asked for more. He gave exactly what she wanted. There was no consideration for witnesses or facts or law. It's all crazy and
How
corrupt.
did they come up with these
So
numbers?
it was 91, then 370.
That's what I've been trying to figure out. How do they come up with these numbers?
They're
That's crazy.
out of thin air. Their own expert said, even if we looked at what this judge is saying is an overvalue. Okay. He's also saying Mar-a-Lago's 18 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So sure, if you think Mar-a-Lago's worth 18 million, well, there's about over $1 billion of over. It's ridiculous. There is no way. If Mar-a-Lago's 18 million, we should all buy it tomorrow and flip it. And
Yeah.
we'll all be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's crazy. But if you look at it that way, yeah, that was already planned, Patrick. That's what they did. They did 91. Then they did 375. 375 becomes more like 600 million. So they were trying to take it. By the way, remember, Tish asked for his statements, asked for financials. She changed the number based on what cash he had. There's 0% question in my mind. That's what happened.
So Lena, if you ask that, like the average person that doesn't know about law, doesn't know about all this, and they're looking at this from the outside looking in, even left or right, and they're saying to themselves, how the hell are they getting away with this and nobody's saying anything? In the legal world, in government, in Congress, so somebody should be like, all right, guys, time out. Besides, I don't care what the hell, who the person is. What are you guys doing? This is blatantly obvious that it's a tactic to try to keep them off the ballot. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but I think that we have a problem with accountability with the Democrat side, and I'm not sure we figured out how to tackle them. We have to. I think President Trump would make everything even Steven when he gets back into office. I think that what we have to deal with is exactly that. We could keep talking about it. I could go on TV every day and talk about how we have White House logs that came out while I was on trial. I'm sitting in the back room and I find out that there were White House logs that Tish James visited the White House.
Yeah.
Before and after the complaint was filed. What? How was that not on the news? If I didn't have such a loud mouth, people wouldn't hear the truth. So I'm looking at it and I'm going, what? How is this possible? And it didn't get covered. It didn't get covered. I mean,
but it's a lot of stuff that didn't get covered. You know, we've been following up. It's a lot of stuff that didn't get covered. A lot of stuff that still isn't out. You know, that we don't even know about. You know, we know about it. We can see little stuff, but it hasn't been covered. You know, and that's
public
sad.
info. Fight right now wanted to find that she's visited the White House.
Yeah.
That's public. I could see it.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how do we hold them accountable? Well, these are elected officials. You know, we had people there. We have gag orders being put on us. How is that okay?
Yeah.
Gag orders on lawyers.
Yeah.
Imagine I go to court, I'm your lawyer.
And you can't
the
talk.
judge says, but no, you can't talk about a couple things here.
What?
How about the Carroll case? The judge asked me the questions I was going to ask my client in public in front of the media before he took the stand, and then asked me what his answers would be. I was like, excuse me? Nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
Transcript, ask for the it's there. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is judicial activism at its worst. Judicial activism is where the judge is sort of acting as a lobbyist on behalf of a political side. And in civil cases, it can run amok as long as you get a dirty judge. At least at the federal level, you know, you have federal sentencing guidelines, right? Which was that a sentence will be this much, might be this much, and can be extended to this much on the circumstances
Yeah, it's statutory.
Basically the AGs for states or whatever that are participating and remand things like to the Southern District of New York for business, and it looks terrible, and they say, okay, well then your guidelines here, but you're going to get this. But for civil, Vinny, civil, it can run amok. All you need is a bad, dirty judge. He puts a gag order here, he impugns a witness here, he prevents this here, he suppresses this here, and you're literally a puppet, and you feel like you're in the middle of Congress during a debate for a bill rather than in the halls of justice with rules and regulations. We are supposed to have, you know, the executive, the judicial, and then legislative. Legislative is where we run amok until we figure it out. Judicial, we're supposed to have procedures and laws and standards and things that go in there. This didn't happen. They basically decided that the civil case, they were going to run it like a political campaign. And for everybody listening, that's what you should think about here. That the Trump cases were run like a political campaign by a filthy, corrupt judicial.
Yeah, they
happened.
are politically motivated. And there were things that were done that I know were meant to make me look stupid. And, you know, judges admonishing me, telling me to sit down in front of a jury, the way they spoke. There was nothing I was doing procedurally or in evidence rules that was wrong. Now, the press covered it that way because
when people do stuff like that, they look at you as a threat, though. That's all that is. They're just looking as a threat.
Which made them think and would say things like, you should read the evidence rules. And I'm looking and I'm saying, well, I'm trying to be an ethical lawyer here and respectful. But I can't, you can't really talk back to a judge, right? Especially when a judge is telling you they're going to throw you in jail, which happened on the Carroll case. Imagine in a civil case, because I objected to a PowerPoint slide that I wanted in, and he said is not coming in. The PowerPoint slide literally proved everything I had said in the case. It said that, look, if somebody tweets something and President Trump doesn't acknowledge it for 5 hours, but they're getting hate from trolls, how can you blame President Trump for defamation? That slide was taken out. I was not allowed to bring it in, and the jury couldn't see it. But the judge, the way they do it, he did it in front of the press. He didn't do it in chambers. He does it so that people start to have this narrative. Oh, she's not a good lawyer. Oh, she's not bright. Oh, she's not this and that. Is that me?
The judge said he's going to throw you in jail?
Yeah.
The weird guy. But, so question, did you guys file any motions against Letitia James for all the videos and all the rhetoric of, I'm going to go after Trump? How is that not a conflict of interest to get her taken off the case?
So her being on the case is different than Fani Willis.
Okay.
So Tish James actually doesn't do the cases.
Okay.
She's a figurehead effectively, right? So she's got a team that we dealt with for 3 years, and that team tried the case. She would show up, she would sit in the back, she would have her coffee. She wasn't really trying the case. Now, she was giving the directives. She was given the directives, much like Merrick Garland or any of them, right?
Yeah.
But did we argue selective prosecution? 100 times. Did we argue that she prosecuted President Trump to get into office, said it before, that it was improper, that she was unethical, all those things? 100 times. Was it covered?
No. Just like her going to the White House to visit.
What I want to ask is how they come up with these numbers, and we'll
I
get to
can
that.
no longer remain.
That's crazy though. Like I feel like that is like crazy. Like to have and to come up with these numbers and to do this and to sit there and I feel like I said, they look at them as a threat. They look at them as a threat, and I say that because I had to learn that for myself. You know, I won't call them my buddies now, but I used to, you know, conversate, talk to, help out, you know, a lot with, you know, some people that I used to hang out with and talk to every day on a daily basis. But, you know, now they look at me, you know, as a, you know, and they don't have to, you know, and I kind of learned that, you know, I'm learning every day, you know, and seeing what's going on and just, you know, hushing her up. Oh, you need to sit down before I throw you in jail. You need to, because they know that they're right. You know, they don't want you to speak on nothing that's going to make sense. And that's sad. You know, it's definitely sad. Make sure y'all have an amazing day. Make sure y'all comment down y'all thoughts, you know, and facts down below, because y'all teach me every day some stuff. I'll be reading your comments, and I definitely love them. But much love, everybody. Thank y'all for everything. Happy Easter to all. Have a blessed day. Catch y'all next one.